What's good, everyone? 4 tips today for Iron Banner Rift. Number 1, use your supers to help push ahead and clear a path for the Spark Runner. So in this particular clip, my buddy is over in their spawn. He just used a super to clear out the enemy, and he says, go through the teleporter, I opened up a route for you. And since it's free, I'm going to be able to backwalk into the point and score the backflip extra points. If you guys are new to the game type, yes, you can do this little backwalk thing, and it gives you a little bit extra points. When you save your supers up for the opportunities where you get to push with your Spark Runner, you're going to score a whole lot more points. In this clip, pop Stormcaller right before we came in here. My buddy with the Spark is pushing in, and it's very hard for the enemy team to distinguish between a Stormcaller and the Spark Runner. You're a huge distraction, and you also can slay while pushing. So save up those supers for particular strategic points, like when you're pushing with the Spark Runner. Slay before you push. I mean, that's a big one. A lot of times when people pick up the Spark, I see them just die hard, straight line into their point, not realizing there's 4 or 5 guys in their enemies who are ready to just take you out. If you slay before you push, if you're a patient Spark Runner, you again will score more points. Number 2, play with a team. Seriously, I've solo queued games this week, I've done team games this week, and the amount of coordinated movement that's needed to win in Rift is not conducive for a solo queue environment. And you will lose games, regardless if you're on a team or solo queue. You just have to listen to Lord Shax.
Your runner. You're not playing to your potential, Guardian. Don't give up.
Never give up and push past the losses. Love that line from Shax. Now, I know it can be tough for solo queue players to put together a couple of teammates, but there are so many great sites to do this now, and so many great clans that are looking for extra players that truly, man, if you just take the time to find 1 or 2 extra people, heck, maybe even go into the game chat. You find a player that you liked when you were just solo queue and you said, hey, let's play a couple more rounds. That's a kind of person that you can add to the friends list and then start working with together. Because even if you just have 2 or 3 other people, it can dramatically help for the next tip, which is map control. Pulling the Spark gives your team more opportunities and awards you map control. So set up for the Spark and pull it as often as possible. A lot of times on a map like Floating Gardens, I see my teammates trying to control the cliff or the ring that's on the other side of the map away from the Spark point, and that can totally cost you the game. Seriously, when you pick up the Spark, you change the entire stance of the enemy team. They then have to go into a full-on defensive mode, and they don't know where the Spark Runner could come from, so they get very passive. That lets you set up on all the advantageous sight lines, you get control of the 50-yard line, and you then are dictating the pace of the game. So as often as you can, set up for that Spark point with your teammates and pull it. You can lose entire games just letting the enemy pull the Spark over and over again. So it's just very, very important. Do what is necessary to win and play the objective. I guess that's kind of the core emphasis of this entire game mode. So here we are at the end of the match. I pull the Spark, I'm getting ready to push into their base, but I hear a Stormcaller pop in a second, and there's nobody around me who can take him out, and he's just totally beelining towards me. Instead of letting him get the bonus points for killing the Spark Runner, I opt, since it's near the end of the game, to back away and deny him the ability to get those extra points. You see, because if the enemy kills the Spark Runner, they get extra points, and with how tight this game was at the very end, I figured, hey, I'll just play the ball. If you guys did oddball back in the day, this is a common tactic, right? So play the objective. You got to do what's necessary. You're not thinking, where am I going to suicide next, but be thinking about the score, what time in the match it is, how many points a Spark pull gets, and how many points it does to kill a Spark Runner. Also, if you let teams score goals over and over again, things can snowball out of control really quick. Last tip is stop dying. If you're in the respawn the whole game, it's going to be a bad time for your team. The respawn timer is a whole lot longer in this game mode than others for a reason. They give impact and weight for killing people so that if you clear a path, if you slay before pushing, it's easier as the Spark Runner to score. So be careful if you're a hyper-aggressive player who dies a lot. A lot of these maps like Pantheon, you spawn very far away, and the penalty for dying is more steep than in other game modes. So those are the tips that I have for you guys with Iron Banner Rift this week. If there's any that you think I missed or that would be a benefit for others to read, leave it down in the comments section below. Thanks guys for watching. If you found this helpful, leave a like, and we'll talk with you next time.
Available. Double kill. Enemy runner stopped. You're in the lead.